It's been a crazy month. All kinds of natural disasters happening everywhere. Wildfires on Maui. There's some wildfires in Louisiana going on. Flooding, drought, major droughts, lots of places. And I know this because of all the people that are like, oh, I wish I had that rain, because we have been getting rain like every other day here in northern Michigan, at least in my area. And I'm starting to squish. I'm really starting to squish. It has been a cold, well, not cold, but cooler than usual summer in Michigan, where we are. And so, yeah, I thought we'd talk a little bit about natural disasters and ways that we can become better prepared for them. Hi, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and this is SuttonsDaze. We are all about pantry preparedness. And today we're going to talk a little bit about natural disasters and ways to become prepared for them. You're not going to be prepared for everything. This week alone, in our Facebook group, we have one of our longtime members, 5+ feet of water in her basement. She lost all of her preps, all of them. Then we've got wildfires happening in Louisiana. We've got the fires on Maui. We've got severe drought situations where people can't grow anything in triple-digit temperatures for way, way too long. And then up here, like I said, we had a cooler than usual summer. It's been pretty chill. And I'm kind of bummed because it's the end of August, you know. And so we're just going to chalk it up to the summer of 2023. But let's talk about how to become better prepared for your natural disasters. First thing you need to do is figure out your potential risks for your area. All of us have different things that we have to deal with. Texas is not going to prepare the same way that Michigan is, the same way that Oklahoma is, the same way that Oregon is, the same way that Maui is, right? So you need to take a look at what the possibilities are for your area, the most likely catastrophic events, and see what you can do to prepare yourself for those. Creating a family disaster plan. So unless you're living by yourself, at which point you are it. You are the bomb, okay? And you make all the final decisions. But if there's other people in your household with you, or other people that you rely on, you need to factor them in also. So you want to sit down and you want to make a family disaster plan. A list of everyone in your household and their contact information, okay? And then if your important contact person does not live with you, then make sure to write down their information too. Super important. A meeting place outside of your home in case you need to evacuate. So it's not just a matter of, hey, we all meet at the oak tree across the street. Well, if the oak tree across the street gets zapped by a great big lightning bolt, that is not going to be where you meet. So you want to find some place, though, where you can direct people to. So if you're in different areas, whether you're in the house or outside of the house, and actually factor in both. If you're all in the house and there's a disaster, where can you all meet outside of the house? I'll meet you at the barn. I'll meet you across the street. I'll meet you at the apple tree, okay? And if there's a bunch of you that are not at home, then where is the one place that you can meet to then continue on to home, if that's an option? Figure out the different scenarios that are possible for you. You want to make sure to map out evacuation routes from your home. So in our case, I've got Phil. I'm not going to lie. I'm directionally challenged. However, I do know that I can go out this way or I can go out that way. And if I go out that way, then I have to go that way and I have to go that way and I have to cross that river or that river. You want to pay attention to that kind of stuff because in a major natural disaster, they just had massive flooding due to EF1 tornado that happened in lower Michigan last night. And there were literally cars completely submerged underwater. The last time I looked, there were 5 deaths that were attributed to this, including a hydroplaning incident that killed a mother and 2 very, very young children. So you want to factor in these kinds of oddities, okay? Michigan's not known for tornadoes. Michigan's not known for much of anything, really, but that's something that we do deal with every now and then, and more frequently we do seem to be dealing with these massive flooding events that our systems are just not equipped to handle because it's not normal. So take a look at those kind of things, pay attention to the frequency that these abnormal things are happening, and start making plans for how you can get out of them safely. You need to figure out a plan for what to do with your pets and other people's possibly. In an emergency, can you get your pets out quickly? In an emergency, where can you go with your pets? What can you do with your pets? Are they crate trained? Are they trained to come to you when when you call them? There's a lot of things to factor into different kinds of pets. Grab that fishbowl and run, baby, but factor in a plan for the pets too, because they're important. Always, I talk about my get home bag that I leave in the car. I talk about bug out bags. And I'm not talking about the end of the world as we know it, okay? I'm talking about there's something major where I have no alternative but to leave my home. None. So I need to have a bag that I can grab that has all of the important stuff in it that isn't overboard, okay? Because you need to be able to carry it. Have a bug out bag. They include the simple things: food and water for at least 3 days per person, okay? A first aid kit, flashlights and batteries, a radio of some kind with extra batteries if it's needed, toilet paper and other sanitation, supplies, important documents such as insurance policies, birth certificates, passports, that kind of thing. Make sure you know where your wallet is. I know that sounds bizarre, but I'm somebody who puts my wallet down around inside the house and then goes, where'd I put my wallet? Develop a plan. You also want to make sure to secure your home. Say you're at home, right? Because there's hurricanes, there's high winds, there's all this other stuff. You want to be sure to secure your home also. So if you have super heavy furniture, that kind of stuff outside, 110 mile an hour winds are going to blink at those and go, yes, so what? Next. So you need to find a way to be able to bolt those down, secure those down, get them under cover to some extent, because those hurt when they fly. You want to see about installing a generator. I know that's not an option for everyone. I know, I get it. It took us a few years to save up for ours, and it's not a big generator. It's a propane generator. It's a dual fuel, but it runs on propane. And I will never hook it completely to the house, but I know that we can get the pump to run. I know I can keep my freezers running. I think we've had to start it once since we bought it 3 years ago. Where there's a will, there's a way. Find a way. Next is to have a plan for what to do with your car should you have to evacuate, okay? Can you take your car? Can you get your car out safely? Can you drive your car safely through this? It is highly not recommended to drive through very deep water. That's like inviting problems, especially when there's flash flooding incidences. So you need to make sure that you have a plan for what to do with your car. If there's some kind of emergency, if it will see to your needs, if it will get you someplace safely, and if it can actually handle it. Because I don't know about you, I don't believe in car payments, so I have a rather old car. She's a beater and she works hard, okay? Can she get me to where I need to go? Absolutely. Could she get me through some kind of severe emergency situation? I don't know. So you need to sit down, factor that in, see where you're at with that situation, and make a plan. If at all possible, get out there and get some training. Most of the time you can find it for free or very cheap. First aid, CPR, that kind of stuff. Look for CERT training, CERT. Look for your local CERT training. See if that's something that you're interested in participating with. Be a weather watcher. There's all kinds of things that don't cost you very much money, but that can give you the training and get you introduced to the people locally that are in the fray of this chaos, when it happens. And that will help you also to become better prepared, because the more you hang out with like-minded people, the more information that you get. Staying informed, I think, is huge, absolutely huge. There are no tornado sirens out by me, so that's not something that I can rely on. I have signed up for every emergency weather alert that there is. I get like 14 different emails saying that there's an emergency weather situation going on. I have it set up on my phone to send me alerts if there's an emergency going on. We have a police scanner that we listen to randomly, honestly, but we kind of get out of the habit in the summer because we're not in the house as much. But find different ways that you can become more informed about what is happening inside of your area. And I'm not talking about local Facebook groups necessarily, because some of those are a little spastic, but find a way. There's a way to listen in on what's happening without getting too personal. You're listening in for safety purposes. That's the big one. Having a plan doesn't mean a whole lot if you have never tried to practice it, okay? So practice executing your emergency plan. Practice everyone meeting up where they're supposed to if there's an emergency. Practice meeting up, someplace off-site if there's an emergency. Practice getting those pets loaded up quickly. Practice grabbing your bags and getting into the car quickly. Practice, because just having it doesn't mean you know what you're doing with it. You actually need to practice. Some additional tips for emergency situations: stop, stay calm, and don't panic. And I know that we all have different kind of personality types, and so that's going to be a lot harder for some than it is for others. But do what you can to stay calm. The more prepared you are, the less chaotic you will feel, the less stressed you will feel. You'll still feel stressed, I'm not going to lie to you, but you won't have that all-encompassing panic if you know that you've got at least a few things set up for yourself and your family in case of an emergency. Stay calm. Don't panic. Listen to the instructions of emergency personnel. Please, don't argue with them. They're doing what they can to make you safe. So, listen to them. Just do it. If you get an evacuation order, listen to it. Please, okay, think Katrina if you have to. Listen to the evacuation orders. Oh, it never hits here. That'll be the one time it does. That'll be the one time it does. And would you rather be around to say, oh, it didn't hit? Or would you rather be that statistic of that person that went, yeah, they're not with us anymore because they didn't listen. You know me, I'm all about safety. I want you here tomorrow. I like spending time with you. Taking shelter in a safe space. Find your safe space. Now, we don't have a basement here, okay? So where would my safe space be? Honestly, I would shove everybody underneath the house if I had to. I would shove everybody into the crawl space. Is it the safest space? Probably, okay, for here, because I don't have the ability to build a fallout shelter or something like that. But, find a safe space. Know what the safe space is. Make sure that your family knows what that safe space is. If you are at home and something happens and you're stuck at home, what you need to consider is that you need to be prepared to be there for several days for all of your needs, okay? So you're looking at food, you're looking at water, you're looking at toiletries, right? And something to do, because staring at the same faces for, say, 7 days will drive you all batty. You need to have something to focus on, something to do. So be prepared to shelter for several days. Make sure if you're leaving to bring your disaster kit with you, bring your bug out bag with you, bring your first aid kit with you. Make sure to not leave those supplies if at all possible. Don't risk your life to go get them, but on your way out that door, make it so that you can grab them and go. Have them someplace accessible so that they are available should you have to leave very quickly. Before, during, after, check on your elderly neighbors, check on the people in your area that are at risk. Make sure that they're okay if you're pretty sure that they don't have somebody there to help them through these kinds of situations. Be a good neighbor. Following just some of these tips will help make you a little bit more secure, a little bit more safe during a natural disaster, whatever it may be. We cannot predict for everything. We cannot prepare for everything. What we can do is prepare to be as prepared as possible in an instant for any kind of emergency. I'm going to throw some links down below that will help you and give you some tips and tricks for different kinds of things to look at for preparedness, because not all of us are in the same situation. Not all of us will deal with the same natural disasters, but all of us can become a little bit better prepared for when they do knock on the door. I hope everyone's having a great day. Until next time, be safe.